Welcome to another episode of Out Loud
and Laughing.
Get ready.
I'm Bryan.
And Jon, two gay cousins having big talks and even bigger laughs. Join us. Let's see what they're up to. It's Out Loud and Laughing.
Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud and Laughing. I am Bryan, and I am joined by...
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jon. Morning, night, whatever time it is in the world where you're listening to this right now.
Yeah, seriously. How's it going? I mean, I know the answer, but let's talk about it.
I don't know. I just feel like every time I come here, there's something dramatic going on in my life, and I don't like that very much.
Listen, I agree. This week has been hard. We can both talk about it. But this year's been hard.
It really has. I was just, death scrolling the interwebs, one of them. And it's just so interesting how many stories corroborate exactly just that and how much we're all going through that right now. I think the added pressure of uncertainty in sort of the climate that we're in right now definitely doesn't help sort of any personal woes you may be going through, which we all do, because that's life. And so it's sort of just becoming a little bit insurmountable. I don't know what you're going through. I'm sorry that you're having a tough week. I'm sure we'll get to it. And I know that you kind of know some of the things that are going on in my world right now with Brody. So how are you doing? What made this week so difficult for you?
Well, this week specifically, we put our renovations for the house on hold because of this whole market tariff situation. So now, that part of my life's been disrupted on top of having to legally adopt our children and stuff to make sure we safeguard our family. Obviously things have been happening at work because of all these changes in the administration. So that was just another thing that just got affected. So now we've been affected personally, professionally, everything. But that's not even the worst part of the week. Last Monday, I was with my trainer, and after my training session, my lower back was great. Because this is 40, everyone. And then this past Monday, I had my trainer. It was fine with the kids, put them to bed around 7. I stood up off the couch and I have never had sharp pains shoot down my back for standing there, shaking, ready to almost pass out, almost had to call 911. I couldn't even sit back down. I was stuck.
Petrifying.
So,
was this? How many days ago was it?
What? I'm sorry?
How many days ago was this?
This was 5 days ago. Yeah. So a part of me wanted to call 911. Luckily, Adam was there. He was able to help. We had the medicine cabinet, shooting a bunch of ibuprofen, just everything through my system. One of Ollie's classmates for moms is a doctor. So we were texting with her to understand what's the max I could put in my system to help with the pain without overdoing it. So that was helpful because she said, if you call 911, they're going to do the exact same thing, just on a stretcher in a hospital bed, and it's not going to be comfortable. So after an hour standing there, finally Adam was able to slowly get me back on the couch, but to the point where I wasn't even laying on the couch. I was kind of sitting and my legs were on the coffee table. So I slept like that all night. Or if you call that sleeping. By Tuesday morning, I was able to stand at least, call the doctor, get muscle relaxers and stuff, but still in pain. So been not so fun.
Back pain is probably the worst and scariest of all of it. I don't think I take it for granted sometimes whenever my back doesn't hurt, and then something like that happens, you realize kind of fundamental. I mean, take care of your children, to take care of yourself, to take care of your family. The back is so important. I'm sorry that happened. How are you feeling today?
Even just to dry your legs off after the shower, right? So to your point, even just the littlest of things that you just take for granted. And I think the hardest part for me is that you grow in this body and you trust it so much, and in these moments you're you just can't trust your own body. It's a weird experience,
I think what's really ironic and weird about this story and this experience is while is Brody's sort of dealing with the same thing. You and Brody are having back problems this week, and that's sort of been the mountain right now in my world has become Brody now, and this week too has been a little bit tougher. I was away with my friends. Meredith had turned 40 this weekend, and so we were all
Yeah.
away in Asheville. I had given Brody to a reputable company that I work with here, who basically does overnight stays with Brody. So Brody will go to somebody, a trusted person's house, and then they basically care for Brody. During that time, and leading up to this, I mean, for everybody listening to the pod, it's been about a month of Brody sort of having the similar experience where he'll wake up in the morning and he'll literally just stand there, and he looks hunched over, kind of frozen in his body, and you could see he's in pain because he's looking at you up through his eyelids, right? Like he can't even lift his neck. So yesterday we took him to a neurologist, a specialist, and uh, we have him. He's been medicated for the last month, to manage pain and other things like that. But yesterday was sort of like uh, yesterday was sort of weird because we discussed sort of a plan for everything, and it
Yeah.
feels like outside of just pumping him with a bunch of medicines, putting him down on the couch and kicking his feet up, similar to you, there doesn't feel like there's much of a remedy here. So now it's a matter of new medications and steroids and time, because unfortunately Brody would cost upwards of ten to $12,000 just to remedy this with some uh, medical intervention, of which I just don't have that kind of money yet. Uh, and I don't even, to be honest, I mean, this opens up a whole new can of worms, right? It's like, how much is your pet worth? And I know that it's like this has been the hardest thing to reconcile with. And I don't mean to shift too much towards Brody, but the last thing I wanted to say about it was simply that, like, how much do you spend on a pet? Like I love Brody more than anything in my world, but I'm not for 12K, man. And so we're just praying and hoping right now that this new, the prednisone steroids that we're going to start him on, soon here, once some of this other medication leaves his body, will help remedy some of the issues. But, he's basically dealing with a slip disc. Did they ever find out, or did you ever learn, sort of what's causing your pain?
Uh, age.
Yeah.
I haven't. No. I honestly, it literally happened after I had my trainer. And
Yeah.
honestly, whenever after I have a long flight home and then I go to my trainer and go hard, just staying on an airplane and then doing the training thing, I need to like ease into it, I think. Because I mean, the airplane seats, like they're not comfortable. And I put a lot of strain on your back. Also sleeping at my parents' house because I had just come back from Florida. Like all that stuff just I think added up. So I'm feeling better. I'm able to walk. I'm able to like pick up the kids when I need to. I'm doing stretches, so I'm fine. But yeah, I haven't burdened you with that because you've been going through your own stuff. But I never even really put two and two together on the similarities of both having
I
back issues, both
I never
households.
had it either until just this moment.
No. Um, so yeah, I mean, it is crazy. I mean, pivoting a little bit because our thoughts and
Please.
prayers are with Brody and my back. And we'll continue to give updates on that. But how was the trip actually?
Oh man, the trip was great. Just to give everybody some context, Meredith is my best friend from college. She actually threw me a beautiful 40th celebration, not too many months ago when I turned 40, and she sort of organized a beautiful trip, which you and Adam came down to surprise me for, which was awesome. That was back in November of 2024. And this trip was really nice. We went to Asheville, North Carolina, which, to be honest, I didn't think that we would see still so much destruction from Hurricane Helene. Um, my word, if anybody has not been out to Asheville, North Carolina, or is planning to make a trip out there, they definitely need tourist dollars to help fix their town. The beautiful breweries and the restaurants. I mean, the level of destruction, which was still apparent, like in so many different areas, from directly surrounding the river that flows through the town. And then we had even gone on a hike on this waterfall. I think it was called Kawala Waterfalls. And hiking that, there was a moment where like you could see from like off the trail to one side and then off the trail to the other, where the mountain had literally slid off like into the creek down below, crossing over the footpath that we were walking on. You kind of just see the power of nature.
Yeah.
You see the power of transformation. I mean, these old trees just uprooted and thrown around with force that makes them now laid out to look like as if they were just matchsticks. So that part was really interesting. To start like seeing that. Fortunately, we were staying in a little town adjacent, called Swananoa. All the names were hysterical. Trust me, the jokes that came out of them were endless. I just want to know
You guys do
somebody.
like a group Airbnb situation?
And so yeah, so there was a total, I believe, 17 of us, 10 adults, 7 children.
Big, a lot.
Oh, it was a lot. And that was just the full group. One night we had 5 people added to that who came into town.
I see
But
what I'm wondering really quick is that coming from my Bravo ask is that you bring all these people into an Airbnb, like, where's the drama? Like, who fought? Like, where's the confessionals? Like, turn that into a weekend series, you know?
100%. Well, it's funny. We actually more I love that you went real world. I mean, excuse me, I love that you went housewives because we went like way older. We went real world. And the house was equipped with 3 stories. It had like a movie theater, an arcade, 2 kitchens. Like it was a house, right? And we had space, but I knew I wanted a room. And being a single person in these group trips all the time, the single person is the one who gets shafted. They're the ones who's
Yeah.
sort of thrown in the corner, or you just have to sort of be a little meet them more in the middle. Well, um, I had to get some work done that Friday when we had flown in, and so the only room with a desk in it was like the second master suite or the main suite that had like big bathroom attached. It had a big closet. So when I saw it, I was like, all right. I emptied my luggage into the closet, hung everything. I was like, this is my room, real world style. Like, can't take it.
And no one said anything?
Nope.
That's amazing.
It was kind of amazing. Now, keep in mind, my room was on the bottom floor. We were trying
Yeah.
to keep the kids off the bottom floor because it was too many stairs to have to worry about. We thought that floor would be the party floor, didn't, and the upstairs. So I literally had a quiet, big space to myself. Life was good. Asheville was good. Meredith had a great time. We threw her a surprise party on Saturday, which was, I don't know if anybody here is a big Friends fan, but all of the episodes of Friends, the titles are like the one where or the one when or whatever. So the whole theme of the party was the one where she turns 40 because we were both big Friends fans.
I
Um,
love that.
yeah, it was really cute. Cakes, confetti until we read in the Airbnb notes that no confetti was allowed. So now for the rest of the weekend, we're finding confetti all over the house.
And it's so
All in
late
all,
that an Airbnb would say no confetti allowed,
of all the things.
right?
Um, and then we had a bear come visit us a couple nights in a row, which was also kind of fun.
Like an animal bear, or did you hit up the gay bars?
His name was Tim. He's nice. No, I'm just kidding. It was definitely a real bear. I wish it was Tim though. John could use a Tim right now. Trust me.
I mean, it sounded like you had some space at the bottom of the Airbnb where no one would even known if Tim would have visited you. So,
They were encouraging. I was not going to give them any more ammunition to tell stories on. So
oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I mean, you bring up an interesting point though about like getting the like not the nicest room, but a room that you were comfortable in. Because I feel like accommodations make or break a trip all the time. Like if you get shafted and put in like on the couch or something, like that hurts your sleep, that affects your mood. And so I'm actually glad that you fought for yourself and got something that you did think, you know, that you deserve because you spent a lot of money to go, right? So you should be comfortable.
yeah, absolutely. And we. It's funny when we were talking about this last night, basically, where the friends that actually went, I was out with at karaoke last night,
Hmm.
which I slayed, I will say. I did so well last night. We can come back to that.
Okay.
But we were just talking about how, like, sometimes, like, there's a couple people in my group that were single and were solo, and then we also are friends with our friends have families. Um, how do you split the costs, right? Like, are we just gonna be splitting, like, via, like, adults only, and then the adults will cover everything, and then we don't take into account sort of how the children sort of would affect that average? Some parents had 3 children, some parents had toddlers. Some people came in for the night that had 3 children, and 2 children. And so when I think it's like the room situation and like the splitting of the finances, which can get a little
Yes.
precarious and tricky. Thankfully, there wasn't any drama. And if there was, it was all white people and they're passive aggressive, so they're not going to say anything out loud anyway.
Hate that the truth.
no, no, no shade on white people because I'll tell you what, Spanish people aren't any better.
The difference is we would have done it in the moment. White
Oh,
people will do that Thanksgiving this year.
yeah. Please pass the turkey. You're an asshole.
You owe me $10.
You owe me $10. What did you do this past weekend while I was away in Asheville? Anything besides almost getting your backs?
Yeah, besides killing myself. No, this weekend was actually fairly quiet, which was really nice. Um, yeah, I mean, life has been a little bit more on the boring side in our household from a activity standpoint, which is nice. So no, nothing crazy. Trying to think, the weather's been just so off here. And I think it's been off everywhere in the country, which is no surprise given the shit show that we're living in right now anyways. Why not throw the weather into the mix?
Honestly,
Um, so I'm just waiting for some sunshine. I mean, everyone that's listening that has a kid, like, it's better when the sun's out because you can throw them outside and let them play. When they're inside, like, it's just chaos and a mess. So, I think the weather's gonna warm up a bit tomorrow, which will be nice. And so we'll hang out, like, nothing crazy. We have, like, some birthday parties and shit like that. So,
yeah,
yeah.
I know the US is dealing with a lot of weather right now and some really horrible, scary. I have one of our cousins, Christina, is in Nashville. I touched base with her yesterday about some of the
Yep.
tornadoes, and another good friend of ours, Jessica, is also in
Yeah.
that area. I touched base with her yesterday as
Hey.
well. Just because there's been a lot going on. Have you like did any of that get to you? I know that if it did, it was probably less intense, but have you seen any of that stuff up by?
No, luckily, we've just gotten rain. So nothing crazy. So the weather's been fine. I mean, the rain sucks, but I'll take the rain over a tornado any day. So, yeah, so I'm trying to think what else. Like, life has been fine. Just outside of this back, which is throwing things for a ringer. And
Yeah.
we're just figure out life right now. Adam's on the hunt for work. I'm trying to get through work. Yeah, I don't know. It's
I
I always say my term really quick is like, we are surviving, not thriving, and that's okay right now.
It's so funny yesterday when I walked into my therapist appointment, now our gauge is because she always asks how I'm doing. I always tell her I'm surviving and thriving at the same time. And
Yep.
so now she won't accept that anymore. So now she makes me break it down. She makes me like commoditize it, like put like money, put numbers around it rather. And I was like, okay, this week I'm like 60% surviving, 40% thriving. And she's like, okay, great. Let's talk about that.
I could not. That is I always say it's either both or one or the other. That is it.
Yeah, no, it's really tough. There's something else happening, actually in just a little bit today. I'm, undergoing some um, new things that I guess science is doing to help, treat some more of, for those of you who don't know, I've been on this like 2.5 year journey about really digging into the roots of like who I am, how I think, how I've like been affected by like sort of where I've shown up in my family system, my origin family, and like, being thrown into this mix. And then there's now, I have done things in therapy called EMDR. It's a modality that basically allows you to reprocess in a safe space things that you had not basically reprocessed. So I've done all of these things and still feel like a tinge of like, I can't manage this. There's a little bit of like a subset of depression that like is sort of, the way that my therapist and I talk about it, it's like my mind is caught up, like cognitively, I'm really intelligently aware and emotionally aware of those things, but emotionally, it's really difficult. They're not connected, right? And so now there's this new thing. It's outside of therapy. It's more done so in a medical space. It's called TMS. It stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation. Now, it's a procedure that is, I'll be doing it now for like about the next 8 weeks. You go in every day, 20 minutes. Thankfully, mine is right up the road. Also, thankfully, my insurance covers it. Otherwise, it's a very expensive procedure. But what it does is they have found that magnets are probably the most powerful thing to permeate the skull, and then in doing so, they can basically open up new neural pathways, and it has shown to be 90% effective in healing the root causes of depression. So I'm really excited about that, just so that I can continue to be a better person for you, Brody, the weather, myself. Put my mask on first. I was just flying home the other day. I thought about you. I was like,
Yep.
my mask goes on first because I was having a tough time and I was feeling a little bit sorry for myself flying home, coming to Brody and all the other things I were
Yeah.
doing. But I'm looking forward to that. That's sort of exciting.
Yeah. I agree. That'll yeah, we'll have to do, like, an episode on that because I wanna learn more about it. I haven't heard about that before. That's, like, dedication. That's, like, 8 weeks every day, 20 minutes. Luckily, it's down the street, but still, you have to still carve out time every day to do it. So, I'm interested to see how that journey goes.
Yeah, me too. And we'll see. I'll definitely keep everybody posted here. There are so many new people. There's just been so much more learning on the mind, and it's something that I'm just so curious about taking care of for myself. Right? Talking about putting your mask on first. Something else happened this week. I really don't want to index on it too much because I feel like I've done a really good job of processing it. But the really handsome gentleman that I was courting, like basically said that he had met somebody else and that I was great and that he had a great time with me, but he was going to move on. And in the past that would have sent me in a spiral. And I can tell that like I only bring this up to say that like I feel that with all the work that I've already been doing and understanding myself, that I've been healing those parts of myself, making this
Yep.
not feel so uh, earth shattering. And so now I just am excited to add this additional layers to just continuously help me. I mean, when we parted ways, it was basically like, I just want you to be happy. I want everybody to be happy. I don't want you to stick around if you don't feel the connection anymore just for the
Yep.
sake of being like, I don't need that. And that's huge for me. So generally speaking, the excitement around going into these new things like TMS is uh, something that like just gives me like hope because it hasn't been really easy for me to process some of these things in the past with ADHD, rejection sensitivity. There's a lot that goes on inside of that I've learned over in this time. So
Yeah. I
it's a
love it.
lot. Life is hard.
Uh, we swear, guys, our next episode will be more uplifting. We just wanted to have a
Yeah.
moment to kinda feel the weather, feel the vibes, and just kinda let it all down and realize, like, life isn't always beautiful. It sometimes can be shit, and right now, I think for many people, it's kinda shit. So, we're here for you.
We're here for you. We also, yes, we promise the next one to be a little funnier and a little bit more upbeat. I will say though that like one of the things I like about you and I, Brian, and one of the things I like about this platform particularly is that while it gives us the space and time to address some of the things that we're most interested in, it also allows us the platform to share with everybody else that you're not alone. Life is hard, and we're feeling it too this week. So we just hope that this allows you to just breathe into it. Um,
Mhm.
we're all in this together, and it's just small little ways that we can all make each other's days a little brighter. Find that way.
It's true. Well, we appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you, John. We'll chat
I
soon.
love you. Bye bye.
Love you too.